It's showtime. What's up, good people? And welcome to the Frank Harris Show, the number one show in the world. Guess who we have back on the show today? My boy, Dominican E. Yo, E, what's up?
What's up, Frank?
What's
What's
up,
up,
E?
Frank? No, my
Oh,
neck
E, I
hurt a
see.
little bit.
I see you got your Colorado Buffalo hoodie on. You got your neck hurt like you trying to channel Deion Sanders' pain. All the hits Shador took this season.
Nah.
Is that why you got your neck brace on? Because you a
Nah,
beat up Colorado fan like your beat up team is. All
nah,
y'all Deion Sanders fans and super fans, ha ha ha. I told you so. 4-7. Y'all won those first three games, and guess what? Man, guess what? Oh, it was Deion time. You were on 60 Minutes. You was talking shit. Lil Wayne was leading you out. Everybody in the world was on the sidelines. Colorado. And Deion Sanders was talking a lot of shit. And all along, when I told you what the reality was going to be, and all the fans, everybody called me a hater. You a hater. You don't like Colorado. And here we are. 4-7, not bowl eligible. Probably going to finish the year 4-8. What you got to say for those Buffaloes? What do you got to say for your boy Prime Time? Your boy Prime Time. I'm listening.
yeah. So let me start by saying Colorado, Buffaloes has had a tremendous year. You know, coming from a 1-11 season.
Yo, what you smoking, dogs?
Yes,
Tremendous year.
of course, coming from a 1-11 to winning 4 games. The season's not over yet. They go play Utah. That's a winnable game. So
That's not winnable. It's a top 25 program. How's that winnable?
They'll finish up. If Sador's playing, see, he's not playing, they'll probably end up losing that game. But okay, so they won 4 games.
Wait, hold on. Can I stop you for a second?
Go ahead.
Let's not say Shador playing matters. They're going to lose that game regardless. Shador played all these other games that they lost, and Utah is better than most of the teams they've lost to. Utah is a top 25 program. So Shador not, they're losing that game. But anyway, let me let you finish.
So again, they were 1-11 last year. Deion came in, changed the whole roster. I think it was 83 new players came in, right? To change the whole roster. And for him to have a 4-7, let's say they do go 4-8. Let's say they
4-7.
do go 4-8. Let's do that 4-8. That's still in the eyes of the football, analysts and football experts. That's still winnable. That's still a winnable season. It's still an accomplishment from a 1-11. I mean, the record doesn't show. Obviously, the record doesn't show it, but they still had success.
Eric, let me say this. So first of all, let me address a couple of things you just said, right? The people watching this show are not dummies, okay? You started off by saying they had a tremendous season this year, okay? So E, now
Yeah.
let me address a couple of things you said, okay? One is, if you would have said going from 1-11 to 4-8 is improvement, I hear you. But for you to say they've had a tremendous season is blasphemous. All the fans and the people that watch this show are not dummies, okay? That's one. To say they had a tremendous season is the craziest thing, one of the craziest things I've ever heard before. That's one. But now, the second thing is this. This is very important to note. Hold on.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
From 1 wins to 4 wins, for the average coach is different, okay? But for a guy that came into this season with all the bluster that Deion Sanders brought with him, right? All of the hype, his big mouth, okay? Walking in saying, I'm bringing my Louis luggage with me, which meant that he was bringing high-end players ready to come and win immediately. All you other players, you need to jump in the transfer portal because I'm bringing my Louis luggage, okay? That implies now. Then, to further reinforce that implication, early on in the season, he said, I win in everything I do. I'm going to win now, early on. Then when he started winning, every time after the game and even before games, when he went into the press conferences, what he said was, do you believe now? I told you I was going to win now. Do you believe now? So everything he said leading up to him losing was about winning now, bringing my Louis luggage. Do you believe now? I told you this was going to happen. Okay. So y'all can't give me this nonsense about, oh, it takes a couple of years to build, because that wasn't what he was talking. He was talking, I'm winning now with my Louis luggage. So 4 wins and 8 losses for Deion, and all of the trash that he was talking, mixed the 60 minutes, Mr. I'm looking myself in the mirror. When I look in the mirror, I see the best coach in college football. 4-8 is unacceptable. There's no way you can say, E, that this has been a tremendous season for Deion Sanders and all of the bluster and the nonsense that he was talking about.
Okay, now can I speak now?
Sure.
I'm gonna tell you why it's been a tremendous
Sure.
season. Right?
Tremendous? Tremendous?
Obviously the record, hold on. Obviously the record doesn't reflect that, but I'm gonna tell you why. Ticket sales up, fan base up, merch up. Everything Deion has touched has gone up. Everything from
Except for the
fan base.
team. Except for the team.
Hold on a
Go
second.
ahead.
So hold on. Those are wins, right? Because college football is a business. So those are wins. Those are wins. Obviously, again, the record doesn't reflect. Obviously they hit a down slope, right?
A down slope?
Yeah,
They start off 3-0, Eric. 4-1.
Okay, they'll finish up 4-8. Okay.
1-7 at the last 8 games.
Hold on a second, right?
Go ahead.
So now, right, he said it himself. He's 8 to 9 players away from being dominant. He has to upgrade the offensive line. He has to upgrade the defensive line. Those are 2 vital.
Every 4-8 team in the country is 8 or 9 players away from being dominant. What does that mean?
Oh no, he said himself. Listen,
what do you mean?
He has a quarterback. He has Travis Hunter. He has the kid Weaver. He has guys on the skill sets that are tremendous players. He just needs to upgrade the defensive line and the offensive line. If he does that, watch out.
Eric, if every team in college football upgrades their offensive line and their defensive line, they're going to be significantly better. That's nothing new. But let's be clear. The way he even handled the issue, and you know this is wrong, Eric, okay? When his son was he felt, by the way, Shedeur holds the ball too long. That's a whole nother story. But because the same offensive and defensive lines were good when you were winning all these games. Let's be clear. And Shedeur was throwing for 500 yards. But anyway, I digress. Let me get back to my point. When all of a sudden, okay, Shedeur starts to get sacked, all of a sudden Deion Sanders now throws the offensive line under the bus and says, oh, well, if you give me some linemen, I'll paint the perfect picture. You don't do that as a coach. Coach your players up then. If you're supposed to be the best coach when you look in the mirror, coach your players up. There's not very many elite, high-level coaches that throw their players under the bus like he did. He threw his linemen under the bus. Said his linemen were no good and said, if you give me some new linemen, I'll win. You don't say that, Eric. That's inappropriate, as he's continually been inappropriate. And you know that was wrong, okay? That's one. But number 2, let's go back to this, okay? If Deion would have come into this with more humility and he would have said, you know what, guys, it's early. We got some good pieces. We're going to keep building the program. We're going to recruit hard. We're going to play hard. We're going to put a good product on the field, right? And we're going to win as many games as we can. That would be a different dynamic. Then you can tell me about adding new players. But when you come in with the amount of bravado and swag that he came in with, and he didn't say anything at that point about lacking things on the offensive and defensive line. He was talking so much shit, Eric, it was crazy, okay? So you have to understand, and because he was talking that trash and they won early, he got all the adulation, which he deserved, right? He was on 60 Minutes. He was on every news network you can imagine. Every Colorado game they wanted to put on TV, it was must-see TV. And he got all the adulation. And everybody bragged about it on every show. From Stephen A. Smith on ESPN, every show they bragged about how great Deion was, and how he was the absolute best, okay? Ultimately, right, you then have to also deal with the ramification when it fails, okay? And don't hide now. You, Deion, and all you Colorado fans, Don't hide now behind the fact that it takes years and years to build, or we didn't have this, or we didn't have that. Because y'all wasn't talking none of that smack when you were winning early in the year. You wasn't complaining about your offensive line and defensive line early in the year, Eric. Or you was talking about this, ooh, Deion is the greatest. He's better than Nick Saban. Come on, bro. Let's talk real talk. We had this conversation. Oh, Deion's better than Saban. He's a new age coach. And by the way, so deal with the ramification of being 4-7 right now and getting destroyed. 59-14 yesterday to Washington State. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Frank,
you ain't keeping it real, Dominican E.
Frank, we all came in as Colorado, as a Deion fan. We all came in here with high expectations.
Okay, right. I like to hear that. Admit that.
We all came with high expectations, but
okay,
we also knew, right?
No, you didn't know.
Yes, we did. We knew.
You didn't know. Deion never said that. We never heard that.
Okay,
so you start losing.
That's something.
So you start losing.
That's something that's kept in the locker room, Frank. He was bigging up his players. He was bigging up his players the first couple games, And
he was bigging up himself. That's the problem. He was bigging up himself too much because he can't coach. He can't, but he is a motivator. He's standing on the sidelines, walking up and down the sidelines. He can't coach. He's a motivator. And by the way, all of you guys who thought then ultimately, oh, Deion Sanders now is going to get the best recruiting classes and he's going to get all these offensive and defensive linemen. By the way, Colorado's, because of their precipitous fall, their recruiting class right now is number 63 in the country. Top 10, top 5. They're not getting those players. So all those linemen that's supposed to be coming, right? Guess what? Those linemen are not walking through the door. Orlando Pace ain't walking through the door, bro. He ain't. Trent Williams ain't walking through the door.
It's okay. Right.
You don't got to, and by the way, and the one 5-star recruit y'all did have, right, just decommitted in the 2025 class. Talk to me, bro. So you tell me it's coming. It ain't coming. You might be 4-8 next year too with your recruiting class.
It's still early. It's still early in the recruiting process, right? Right.
Okay.
The early signing period. They changed the rules, so now they have 2 signing periods: early signing period, and then they have them in April. So how was your early signing period? Just so I know. How was your early signing period? We signed some players. They signed some players, some decent players.
So 63. So 63 is a good recruiting class right now. What the number is for Colorado? How many 5-stars you got in this class? None.
As you know, Frank, if you land 2 or 3 5-star recruits, your ranking is going to go up. All it takes is 2 or 3 5-star recruits, and your ranking is going to go up.
So, that's for every team, but you ain't got them. Alabama got all the recruits. My team.
We don't got them right now. But they're coming. But
if Deion was so great, why he can't get the players he's supposed to be able to get? He's supposed to be listen, when he was winning, remember he said, man, when he was winning, he said, we so over inundated with calls and recruits that want to come here. He said, it's crazy. He said, I'm over. He said, everybody. He said, listen, everybody want to come. And then signing day came, and guess what? That's what happened. Nothing.
We still have to April to get the players we need to get in.
Here we go again.
We got to get the players in, the offensive, defensive line, and then we'll go from there. Deion has done a tremendous job. He's done a tremendous job.
No, he's not as a coach. His on-the-field product is trash for him. His on-the-field product is trash.
Frank, what
now, did he make Colorado money? And by the way, the irony of it all is this: did he make Colorado money? Yes, we agree on that, right? Did he change the culture of fans coming to some games, right? TV coming to come watch games, to broadcast the games, more so the excitement, the enthusiasm around the program, absolutely. But the on-field product, as a coach, trash. And by the way, let me say this: I don't understand. And I understand the bluster and the nonsense. If I'm Texas A&M, I don't want him. I don't want him.
Why would you Texas A&M anyway?
Okay, well, I'm just saying. But listen, that's part of the rumors. The rumors are that he's one of the people in the running for that job. If I'm I told you this before, Eric. Deion Sanders, good guy. Deion Sanders needs to learn how to win, right, and compete and recruit and handle himself at the highest level. This ain't Jackson State, bro, unfortunately. I've always told you that Deion was going to struggle at the higher level early on because there's a lot of issues with Deion on the court, on the field, how he handles himself. He needs to mature significantly, right? As a coach, listen, as a man, he's a father, seems like he's a good dude. He's a God-fearing man. Would never say he's an immature man. I would never judge him as a man. As a coach, as a guy that's the CEO of an organization, a program, right? He needs a lot of growth and development, significant. And this year is a great, see, at Jackson State, he had way better players. He had a son, he was getting, so you're going to win at that level, okay? And those great players are going to mask the other issues with coaching, okay? But now all of a sudden, when you get into the big leagues, you're losing to the Washington States of the world and those programs, bruh. No. And the way he's handling himself, throwing his team under the bus, the bragging, the braggadocio, all the stuff that he's doing, Eric, is inappropriate.
That's who Deion is.
I understand that. The chain on the sidelines. At some point, you got to mature. Deion ain't playing. That's who he is. But Eric, let me say this, Eric. The Deion player that could then go on the listen. The Deion that talked trash when he was a player could then go on the field the next weekend and close down your receiver, right? Have the game-winning kickoff return or punt return, okay? Catch an interception, a pick six to win the game. He can go on the court then and back on the field, and back it up. He can't do that no more. So shut up and be a coach, which he can't do. And so when he said he looks in the mirror and he sees the best coach in college football, is that a joke?
Frank,
is that a joke?
Frank,
I'm listening.
We get it confused. He's a very confident man in himself. And people...
Every Division I coaches.
That rubs people the wrong way, Frank. Right? It comes off as braggadocious, as you said. It rubs people the wrong way, especially in the coaching profession, which is a profession of... Now they're letting a lot of African Americans coach college football, but the
not really.
The majority of the coaches are really button up guys, speak politically correct, all these different things. Deion came in, knocked the door down. This is who he is. I'm not changing for nobody, and this is who he is. And now people are afraid of that and say, "Oh no, he's braggadocious. He's this. He's arrogant." Like this is who he is. This is who he's been his entire life.
By the way, so you better win. Because on the field, when he was like that, he won. So if that's who you want to be, then you better back it up. What you can't do is be that and be 4-8. You know that, Eric. You can't. Okay, but don't give me first year now because y'all was talking a lot of shit. Excuse my French. When he was winning, y'all wasn't saying y'all was saying, "Oh, look how great he is. He's the best." Now all of a sudden, don't retreat to, "Oh, it's early." Listen, you didn't come out the starting gates like that.
We all are. You a football guy. I'm a football guy.
That's right.
We all coming into the season. I mean, nobody. We had high expectations. High expectation was winning 6 games. That's high. That's what I said. If you win 6 games, that's an incredible season. That's what I said. Nobody said he was going to go and be in
Eric,
the
can I ask you a question?
Nobody said
before
he
the
was going to be a
season,
national champion.
right.
Nobody said those things. Nobody said
before the season. How many wins did I say?
You said 2 or 3.
No, I said 3. Now you're saying 2. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I said 3. Don't do that for the cameras.
I said
6. You said 6.
I said 5
I said
or 6.
3. No, now you're going 5. See, so you pushing me down, and you said 6, and I said 3, and you had 4. I told you. You thought I was crazy when I said that, and we went through the schedule. You said, "Oh, we're gonna win this." Blah 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 blah. Get up out of here, man. I told you what's going to happen. All that. And by the way, Eric, if again, and every Nick Saban is confident. Every coach is confident. But there's a way you conduct yourself as a head coach in college football. It's the way you conduct yourself. But anyway, let's switch gears now. The Deion topic is hot. We got a lot of fan feedback, people talking about our last time we spoke about Colorado. And for the record, Colorado, terrible year, Deion Sanders. Let's switch gears now from the young fellas, the college football players, the young future stars to the NFL, right? Let's kind of have somewhat of a mid-year NFL talk. Let's talk about, highlights, lowlights, teams that we feel, are playing well, teams not as playing well as we expected, players playing better, not playing as well as we expected, etc. All right, give me some highlights for you so far this NFL season.
So one of the highlights for me is seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers right now 6-3 in the AFC North, which is I think one of the toughest conference in the NFL. You got Cleveland.
No, it's not. By the way, let's not say that.
I said one of the toughest. I said one of the toughest. Hold on.
On paper, right?
One of the
Because
toughest.
excuse me, because the Bengals are done now because the quarterback is Burrow's hurt for the season, and the Browns are done now because the quarterback is hurt for the season, even though they have great defense. So the Ravens and the Steelers are good teams in that division, but it's on paper it was supposed to be, but it didn't pan out that way. And by the way, let me just say one thing about the Steelers, Eric. 6-3, winning every game by the skin of their teeth. I love Tomlin. They have no offense. None. Pickett is horrible. Let's keep it real. They win the game 16-15, 13-11. I mean, those kind of scores.
The Steeler way, playing defense and running.
Yeah, but you got to play some offense. When you won, Big Ben Pickett's give you nothing on offense. Nothing.
Okay, but they got a stellar defense, and they got some good running backs
and a great coach.
And Pickett is doing enough to manage the game where he doesn't put the team in harm's way, and they're winning. They're 6-3.
Yeah, and listen, Eric. And by the way, they winning barely, right? Like that's not a team that I look to confidently and feel like they're going to be able to make noise in the playoffs. I just don't, right? Okay. Or not even make even get out the first round of the playoffs if they get there, right?
Okay.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing, Eric. Okay, let me let you finish. Okay, so you talked about the Steelers, so let me jump in it now and let me talk about my Ravens. So I'm a Cowboy fan. Right. So the
Ravens, but you interrupted me.
No, don't talk about my team because you like Josh Allen. Don't talk, whatever you do. Don't talk about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens because you always talk about how Josh Allen is a better quarterback than him. Buffalo's a better team. Josh Allen knows how to spin that thing. Pause. That's all you spoke about is Josh Allen. I told you before. So and by the way, let me. My team is the Cowboys. I'm a Cowboy fan.
Yeah, that's your team, the Cowboys.
That's my team.
Now to the Baltimore Ravens.
No, hold on. The Ravens are always my second best team. My favorite player in the NFL is Lamar Jackson. You know that. My favorite player in the NFL is Lamar Jackson. And you've been telling me forever how this bum for the Buffalo Bills the apple turnover, Josh Allen was a better player. Right?
Okay.
You look at the Bills right now, they are reeling. And it's the quarterback's fault. You got the wide receiver wanting to leave, Diggs. The quarterback is turning the ball over at, warp speed, and the team is underachieving. Now talk about my Ravens. Come on, tell me about, and by the way, you always hate Lamar Jackson. You said he can't be a quarterback in the NFL. You said you can't win with him the way he plays. You said you can't win with him. Now tell me about the Ravens. I'm listening.
I'm a hardball fan, so you can't tell me I'm a hardball fan. I'm a hardball fan.
You mean the Michigan hardball, you mean, right?
No.
Sign stealing.
No,
that's your guy, right?
That's my guy. So, great defense. Great.
So you don't like the black quarterback, though. You like the white coach. Just for clarity.
Great defense. Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson. He's going to do what he's going to do, right?
What does that mean?
Stellar defense.
MVP. Was an MVP in the NFL, right?
He was the MVP.
Don't say he's going to do what he's going to do. Is he a great quarterback?
I don't say he's a great quarterback. He's an elite quarterback. I won't say he's a great quarterback. He's an elite quarterback.
He's elite, but he's not great.
No, he's not a great quarterback.
Okay. Are there five guys better than him in the NFL?
5 guys better than him in the NFL?
Yes. 5 quarterbacks better. You all right?
Yes,
Who?
that's right.
Who? Now let's go off script now. I know you did your research and you got all your notes in front of you. So I don't have notes. I do this all day. Give me 5 better than Lamar Jackson. Mahomes and who else?
Mahomes. Right?
Who else?
Mahomes. Hold on. Mahomes. Hurts. Better than him.
Who? No, he's not. No, Jalen Hurts is not better than Lamar Jackson. No, he's not.
Right now. Currently, right now, yes, he's better than him.
No, he's not. His team is better. He's not a better quarterback. His weapons are better. He's not a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. No, Hurts is not. No, he's not.
Okay.
Name some more.
All right.
Don't say Justin Herbert. Don't say that.
Yeah. Why? What's
I
wrong
know you're
with
about to say that. That's blasphemous. I know you're a white quarterback fan, right? Your favorite quarterback is Josh Allen, and your second favorite quarterback is Trevor Lawrence. I know you love white quarterbacks. I know that.
You know I got to go with Trevor Lawrence.
How?
Trevor Lawrence is not.
How?
I'm joking. Trevor Lawrence is not better than.
Okay, I know you like white quarterbacks, but tell me, I don't want to be racist here, but you like white quarterbacks. You tell me who. So you said who besides Mahomes, right? Who's better than this man? You want to say Hurts? Okay, give me three more.
Obviously, I'm gonna go with Josh Allen.
You can't go there because you acknowledge right now at this moment, Eric, you cannot say Josh Allen's a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. You can't say that, Eric. We can't have this argument if you're not going to say he's not better now. You might like him. You can have a personal preference, but we got to go by the facts.
We got to look at the numbers.
Okay, who else?
Oh, I like the quarterback in Detroit. I like him.
What's his name?
Goff.
His name's not Goff. Jared Goff. He's not better. You can't say, bro. Stop. You can't say he's better. Lamar Jackson is an MVP in this league. Stop. Okay. Put some respect on my guy's name, bro.
My man took the Rams to the Super Bowl.
They lost. And they got rid of him. And they shipped him out. And by the way, they should have shipped him out, but they shipped him out.
Me and you argued that was a stupid move. You know that.
But Eric, listen. I agree with you, but they shipped him out and they won a Super Bowl without him.
Oh,
right?
With the button, yeah.
They shipped him out. Okay. So you can't put him, bro. So we're very clear. There are not 5 quarterbacks in the NFL better than Lamar Jackson, right? You know that. Like right now, when you say Jared Goff is better than Lamar Jackson, you grew up in their straws. You know that. But anyway, go ahead. Let me let you finish now. You grew up in their straws. My Baltimore Ravens. Yes, Lamar Jackson.
The Baltimore Ravens are a great team.
Yes.
I'm not taking that away from the Baltimore Ravens.
Probably right now, if you look at the Super Bowl right now, you look at the Super Bowl picture, right? There's no team, listen, I don't want to over-exaggerate, right? But the Ravens have as good a chance as anybody right now if you look at it today at the halfway mark. We'll see what happens as the year progresses. But the Ravens are in as good a position as anybody in the NFL right now from a Super Bowl perspective. Fair enough?
Fair enough, but they still got to go through Kansas City. They're the defending champs.
Right. And by the way, shout out to Kansas City. Let me tell you why, okay? Shout out to Kansas City. Kansas City, I think as long as 15 is back there and Mahomes is back there, you're going to have a chance to win. Mahomes is the greatest. I think, he going to have to win more championships, but he's the best quarterback if you look at it from skills and ever, in my opinion, right? Mahomes is great. Kelsey's probably the best tight end ever. Right? And Taylor Swift on skyrocketed.
You said that what? Mahomes is what? The greatest?
Well, Brady's the greatest, but if you talk about talent, ability, winning, etc., he's to me the greatest ever. But Brady's the best quarterback ever, for sure. Right? But Brady doesn't have close to Mahomes' talent. But Brady, listen, I always argue Brady's a GOAT. You don't argue that. You told me Jerry Rice is better than Brady before. So let's be clear.
Who did I say?
Jerry Rice is better than Brady. You said that. Brady's the GOAT. But anyway, let's not talk. We're talking about this NFL. Right, so you got Mahomes, you got Travis Kelsey, possibly the best tight end ever, or one of top 3 to 4 ever, right? Taylor Swift on skyrocketed his stock all the way through the moon, right? He got all kind of commercials now. Shout out to Travis Kelsey. Good luck for him and Taylor Swift, right? Andy Reid, amazing coach, right? Okay. The offensive line is protecting them better. Shout out Donovan Smith, offensive lineman. Brought him over, protected Brady. Now he's protecting Mahomes, okay? And they are winning, Eric, a lot with
wait. You mentioned
with a great defense.
Hold on. You mentioned Kelsey. You mentioned Mahomes. You mentioned the offensive line. You mentioned the defense. You're not going to mention my Dominican boy, Pachenko? Come on, man.
Yeah, a little running back from Rutgers. He's okay.
All right, come on, put some respect on
Listen,
that name.
but you don't even know the man's name. You said my
Pachenko,
Dominican brother. What's his
he's
name?
Dominican. Isaiah Pachenko. Come on,
It's
Frank.
Pacheco. Say his
Pacheco,
name right.
Pacheco,
You got an N in the name. How you gonna shout the man out as a fellow Dominican and you don't even know his name?
Pachenko, whatever, Pachenko, Isaiah Pachenko.
That's like me calling you Eric Marinez. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. You gotta know the man's name if you gonna shout him out. But okay, so listen, very good. And this is what's amazing, right? Is they are winning. Spagnuolo is doing a hell of a job, right? The defensive coordinator. They are winning a lot because of a high top 5 defense. Top 5. We don't talk enough about that top 5 defense, right? We don't talk enough about that top 5 defense. We don't. So shout out to KC. And by the way, as you said, all roads run through KC to come out the AFC. Okay? Now, we got my Dallas Cowboys looking good. Let's talk. My Cowboys looking good. Let me tell you, looking good because we're not peaking too early, right? We had our bumps and bruises early in the year. Good. We got our butts kicked by San Francisco. Good. The Eagles barely beat us in Philadelphia. You know, we got a couple of losses, but we beating the teams that we're supposed to be for the most part, right? Outside of the Arizona game. Dak is playing better. Okay. We got a top 5 defense.
Okay.
So, and we're peaking at the right time. And we sure we could beat Philadelphia. That was a head-to-head game, very close game in Philadelphia. So the real challenge is this. I think the demise of the San Francisco 49ers has been given too early. I think when they ran into this streak where they lost 3 or 4 games in a row and Purdy wasn't playing well, everybody felt like San Francisco was done or they were overrated early on. Okay. But people didn't remember how a lot of their players were hurt, right? So McCaffrey was doing his thing. Yes, he was, right? But Debo was hurt, right? Trent Williams was hurt. And so some of their elite players were not on the field, okay? Debo is probably as important a weapon to a young quarterback like Purdy as any player is in the NFL, right? I mean, this guy is a super weapon. So I think the demise of the 49ers was spoken a bit too early. I still think the 49ers formidable. And by the way, let me say this, okay? As we talking about great teams, a theme is emerging, which has changed. And let me tell you the theme. Defense, right? You just talked about San Francisco, elite defense, okay? Yes. We just talked about KC winning. Their defense has picked up significantly. Elite defense. We just talked about the Ravens, elite defense, okay? We talked about the Philadelphia Eagles. You talked about Jalen Hurts, elite defense. We talked about the Cowboys, elite defense. It's ironic, Eric, that in a pass-happy offensive NFL, right, today, we're talking about defenses winning. That hasn't been the case for a while, right? Because Brady was such a big dominating figure in the sport. And it was all about offense, 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 offense. Brady versus Mahomes. It was offense. It's amazing to see, right, that defenses have been kind of revitalized almost. And we're talking about elite defense. I mean, look at the Browns. The Browns offensively have been terrible this year, right? Myles Garrett may be the best defensive player in football. You can argue, right?
I think right now he's favored to win the Defensive Player of the Year. So
sure. And that Browns team, right, should have been horrible this year. Yes. Right? Deshaun Watson not playing well, been in and out the lineup hurt. And they're maintaining because they play great defense.
Yes.
Elite defense.
Let me say something about the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay, I'm listening.
This stretch, these next 5 games, this is going to tell how good they are. They play a lot of tough teams. A lot of tough teams. So these next 5 games will tell, how good the Baltimore Ravens are. I think they got Kansas City on the schedule. I think they play the Steelers again. I think they got Buffalo. This is going to tell. So this right here, these next 5 games, I looked at the schedule. It's going to tell, so we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, I got a question. What team is your biggest disappointment so far this year? A team that you thought had some potential to be good, and you look up and they just.
I'm gonna go with. No, I was gonna say that. No, I was gonna say disappointment. I was gonna say the Rams. The Rams are disappointing.
How?
Rams
They were bad last year.
but
No one thought the Rams would be good this year.
no, but listen to what I'm saying. Last year,
Huh?
listen to what I'm saying. Hold on, listen to what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
I'm listening.
The year prior to last year, they won the Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah.
So they had the Super Bowl hangover. So that it trickled into last year. So they had a terrible season. I think with the coach and the players they got, I thought they was going to be better. I thought they was going to be better.
They lost some of their best players, and Beckham was fantastic.
Hold on, but
They
they still had the little white boy receiver that's pretty good.
Cooper Kupp, he was hurt.
Yeah, but I'm saying
he was hurt.
Back. So they had they got obviously Aaron Donald, right? So I mean I thought
that's it though. Eric, they got a horrible quarterback, right? Who's overrated, who's no good. Stafford, who's always hurt. And Aaron Donald is still good, but not super elite anymore, right? Who on offense? Their best receiver was a rookie. Cooper Kupp was hurt. So just to be clear, that's not a disappointing team, bro. Disappointing teams are teams like the Buffalo Bills, right? The Buffalo Bills were a team that people picked.
My man, Josh.
Hold on. No. Let me say this. They were a favorite pick in a lot of circles to win the Super Bowl this year. No one thought the Rams were going to be. The Bills were a Super Bowl.
They're still in contention, Frank. What are you talking about?
Hold on.
They'll make the wild card.
That's one, right? They've been a disappointment so far, right? The Chargers have been these are disappointing teams. The Chargers have been a disappointment so far. Everybody thought it was Herbert. This is the year. All the guys coming back. They were going to put it together this year. Now, the Jets are a disappointment, but Rodgers got hurt, right? And Rodgers got hurt. And we knew Zach Wilson wasn't great, so we can't call him a disappointment. Elite defense as well, but Zach Wilson's terrible, right? So disappointment because with Aaron Rodgers, people thought they had Super Bowl aspirations. They obviously lost that. The New York Giants, nobody thought they would be great, but they're horrible. Maybe the worst team in the NFL, right? I mean, these are examples of teams that were at least supposed to be decent teams that have been terrible, right, E? I got a new question for you.
Playoff teams, but they are horrible. I was going to say the Giants, but, I went with the Rams because I feel like the Rams, coming from a bounce back year from last year, Super Bowl hangover.
But they lost their players. They lost their guys, right?
But the guy's a great coach. The guy's a great coach. He's good.
Is he?
Yeah, good coach.
Okay. McVay is decent. All right. Now, E, I got a question, Eric. Biggest surprise this year. It's one team. If you don't get this one right, E, I got to hang up on you, man. We got to stop the conversation.
Well, that's easy. The Detroit Lions.
Nah, bro.
Come on, Frank. The Detroit Lions right now are 7-2. 7-2. The Detroit Lions are.
Okay.
7-2.
So let me say this.
Dave Campbell, that's his name. The coach, Dave Campbell. Great.
There you go again with your names. His name is Dan Campbell. I thought you told me you were a football guy. You got your Dominican brother's name wrong. You got the coach name wrong. You got everybody's name wrong.
Dave Campbell, same shit. Excuse my language. Dave, same shit. Wasn't Dan Campbell, right? Great coach. That was a great hire by the Detroit Lions, right? They got the defense. Hutchinson, great draft pick. Quarterback, who I always liked. The Rams never should have got rid of him. They got the.
You got his name wrong too, by the way, but okay.
The Rams never should have got rid of him. They got the little wide receiver that went to USC.
What's his name? The little wide receiver that went to USC. I don't know what that description is. There's a lot of little wide receivers that went to USC. But anyway, Eric. So let me say this.
Whatever their name is, the St. Clairs or whatever their name is.
Here we go again.
What's the name, Frank?
Rob Brown.
There you go, Rob Brown. What's his name again?
There you go. Went to Mater Dei for high school. Wide receiver, elite player. Went to USC. I thought you were a football guy. I know everything about football. I'm a basketball guy. I'm a sports guy.
Listen, I don't get the names correct, but I know who they are.
You sound like Grandpa Smooth right now.
Listen,
you sound like Grandpa. When we have Grandpa Smooth on the show with the names. But I will say this. That's a good one. But let me say why that's not the number one team surprise. because everybody expected them to be good this year. Everybody said that they would make the jump, right? They beat Aaron Rodgers last year, last game to kick him out of the playoffs when he was with the Green Bay Packers, excuse me. Everybody felt like the Lions were a team that would be good this year and they would take the next step. Everybody felt that way, right?
Yes.
But let me tell you the surprise. It has to be the Texans, right? The Texans were horrible. They were terrible last year. They bring in a new coach, right? The defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. They bring a quarterback who wasn't the first one drafted. Talk about a mistake. C.J. Stroud over Bryce Young. They took Bryce Young, number 1 in Carolina. C.J. Stroud is having an MVP caliber year almost. MVP. Best interception, touchdown interception ratio in the NFL right now. Elite, winning games, playing great, very good coaching. Everybody thought the Texans would be at the bottom of the NFL this year. Okay? As it currently stands, I believe they're 5-4. The Texans at 5-4. Eric, that's a bigger surprise than Detroit. We knew Detroit was going to be good. Nobody thought the Texans would be 5-4 if C.J. Stroud would be in the MVP conversation right now.
Okay.
Fair enough?
That's a good one.
Come on.
The kid is playing well.
So now, if you redraft, Eric, you think about that draft, right? You got Bryce Young went first, right? You got Stroud, and then you got Anthony Richardson, right? Richardson is hurt out, Cam Newton-esque kind of player, big, strong guy. But that running is tough in the NFL, as you know. Body got beat up. He's hurt already. Stroud is looking like an elite quarterback right now. Now, it's early. And Bryce Young, you and I both said this, okay? Early on, we thought that wasn't the right pick because he's too small.
Yes.
Right? Bryce Young is too small, right? I understand all the cerebral stuff and he came from Alabama. My team, I love Alabama's becoming quarterback you, right? Tua, Bryce Young, right? Jalen Hurts. Alabama's becoming quarterback you. But anyway, everybody thought he'd be good. The guy's just too small for the NFL, Eric. He's too small. C.J. Stroud right now is looking like an elite player. What about your Jacksonville Jaguars, man? Let's talk about those bums.
Well, what you mean?
They got a decent record. First place in the conference. But do you think, Eric, that team is really a contending, deep playoff run team with your boy Trevor Lawrence, who you love?
Oh, yes. I love Trevor Lawrence. I love Sunshine. Anyway, pause. But listen, they're going in the right direction. Last year they made the playoff.
Okay.
This year,
yeah, they're going to win. And by the way, and won a playoff game too. Last year they won a playoff game too. Came back. Yeah.
So they're going in the right direction. Are they?
Fair enough.
Are they a team that you fear? No, you don't fear them because they're still young.
Fair enough.
Still young.
Fair enough.
They're going in the right direction. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. That's fair. I can rock with that.
Yeah.
I can. Do you think my Cowboys got a chance to win this year?
It breaks my soul to say this. I think so. It breaks my soul to say this.
Yo, let me tell you something.
Listen, by the way, I love Jerry Jones. I love Jerry Jones.
No, Eric, I'm gonna hang up on you, bro. Yo, how you gonna love Jerry Jones?
What you mean?
Yo, hold on. Stop for 1 second. Let's pause the sports talk, okay? For 1 second. I'm a Cowboy fan, okay? Jerry Jones, a good GM. He's a good football guy. I don't like the man at all. Two things. When Colin Kaepernick took a knee, right? Him and McNair from the Texans were the two owners that came out and said if any one of their players took a knee, they would not be playing for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay? So there's no way I can respect the man. And by the way, as you know, Colin Kaepernick was standing for the rights of black men being beat and shot and killed by police officers.
Yes.
And Jerry Jones didn't stand by. By the way, historically, with a whole bunch of black players helped him win championships. Let's go Michael Irvin. Let's go Emmitt Smith. Let's just keep going, right, for his franchise. That's one. Hold on. Second, remember in Arkansas when they tried to integrate schools, I believe it was Ruby Bridges is her name.
We saw the picture. He was
Hold on.
there. Come on.
He was there as a segregationalist in Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
Yelling and screaming about not letting this black girl and not letting schools in
Well, we don't know.
Central.
We don't know that.
Hold
Frank. It
on.
was just a picture. We don't
Hold
know
on. He was standing there, right, when they were deriding and abusing this little girl who was trying to go to, and when they were trying to integrate schools.
Yes.
So for those two reasons alone, okay, and he admitted he was there. For those two reasons,
Yeah,
hold on. For those two reasons. We saw the pictures. So for those two reasons alone, I can't respect him as a man. Listen, he didn't stand with Kaepernick, and what Kaepernick stood for was right. Okay, and he didn't stand with that little black girl who was trying to go to school when it was about integration. He was a part of the segregationists, the segregation group. So hold on. So let's not talk about Jerry Jones.
Wait.
You love that man? You said you love him.
Wait a second.
You love the man that said Colin Kaepernick can't get on the knee? You love him?
Wait a second, Frank. Wait a second.
Oh my goodness, you like white guys that much? Oh my goodness, Randy.
Wait.
We might not be able to get Dominic E back on the show.
I'm shocked.
Randy, it's unbelievable.
Wait a second.
Oh my goodness, I'm squirming in my chair. What the hell's going on here? And Randy, he said, I love Jerry. I love me some Jerry Jones. I love Jerry Jones. Oh my goodness, bro.
Frank, let me speak now.
Oh my goodness.
Frank, I'm gonna get on my
I'm a Cowboy fan, Randy.
I'm gonna get on my grandpa smooth. Can you let me speak now? Listen. The man said he went there. He just went to go observe. He didn't go there protesting. That's what he said. We got to go by that. We got to go by that.
Randy, don't fall on the floor. Get up, please, Randy. Randy, don't fall on the floor.
That's what he said. Frank. That's what the man said.
So okay, so justify the Colin Kaepernick situation. Justify that.
Listen, all them owners felt
justify that.
Well, hold on. All them owners felt the same way Jerry Jones felt. They just didn't say it publicly. All of them felt the same way.
And listen, and for that, you should love none of them. Right. So if that's the argument, right? So you should love none of them if they stood up, if they stood against a man that was advocating for black people's rights when black people were getting beat up and shot. How you gonna love him?
Frank,
you love him?
Listen, I'm saying from
my goodness, Dominican E.
From an owner's perspective, Frank, the man has done wonders with the Dallas Cowboys. I think they're the highest team as far as revenue and all that stuff that they create. I mean, the man has taken a franchise, America's team. I don't even know how much it's worth now. You know what I'm saying? So it's in the billions.
So you love him?
From an owner's perspective.
So you love him?
What he's done with the franchise.
Eric, you can't separate that. He didn't stand up for Colin Kaepernick. You can't love him. I'm sorry, Dominic, but you can't love Jerry Jones.
Frank.
You can't say that. That's scary.
Frank, listen.
That's like saying, I love somebody, Randy. Even though he was in the Ku Klux Klan, right? He sure did stuff to raise the franchise, so I love him. Even though he was in the Ku Klux Klan, he sure did a lot to help the franchise. Nah, bro, don't do that. Don't do that, bro. Honestly, you can't do that, bro. You can't say you love Jerry Jones here, bro. And I'm a Cowboy fan. That's crazy, by the way.
Jerry Jones, you get the thumbs up for me.
You trying to get season tickets?
Crazy.
Thumbs up with me,
anyway,
Jones.
Anyway, another NFC East fold, Philadelphia. That's another team where I feel like a bit overrated. I'm going to get back to football talk because that Jerry Jones thing, I can't even fathom that craziness you just said. But anyway, Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, elite defense. I think that, they don't look as sharp this year, right? They looked a lot sharper last year. Still a dangerous team, obviously, in the NFC. I think the NFC is going to come down to the Cowboys, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Philadelphia Eagles. I hope my Cowboys can pull it off. But I think the Eagles are still another team that we got to think about when we talk about elite teams in the NFC.
Yeah, big game Monday night. Kansas City and the Philadelphia Eagles, big game.
Right. I mean, that was the Super Bowl last year, right? I mean, it's a Super Bowl rematch. All right, well, listen, man. I thought our football talk was great. You talked about how much you love Jerry Jones. So I'm gonna have to switch gears right now, scratching my head, bro. A Dominican from Washington Heights talking about he loved a white segregationalist that said Colin Kaepernick need to sit his ass down. Unbelievable. But anyway, let's switch gears now. We talked a lot of football, college football. We talked about your boy Bum Deion, who got your neck hurting so bad because you're trying to channel Shador Stewart and all the injuries that he's getting from quarterbacking. And by the way, I don't want to go back here, but because of
not Stewart, Sanders, get his name right.
Shador Sanders. And by the way, just for the record, Shador Sanders is no longer even the first round pick in the NFL right now because of how bum him and his Colorado Buffaloes are. But anyway, Shador Sanders, good player, but I digress. Let's get back to the basketball now. Let's talk a little bit about basketball. Basketball season is kicking. A lot of good things happening. We got the play-in tournament now. Super teams. It's competitive. And then we got this idiot, Draymond Green. Okay, and I'm going to call him an idiot. And let me say this, all right?
Come on.
Let's talk about this.
You're making my neck
There you go again. Draymond Green probably choked you out like he did. He probably punched you in the face like he did Jordan Poole, right? Is that or he yoked you up like Rudy Gobert? Is that why your neck hurt? Because Draymond Green did the Rudy Gobert on you?
Yeah, my man Draymond.
The guy's a menace, right? I know this can't happen, but they almost need. I feel like they should kick him out the NBA for a year, right? Like I really feel like.
There you go with the extreme stuff. Come on, Frank.
I mean, Eric, the guy's a menace. No one likes him in the NFL, but the problem is this: no one likes a lot of players in the NFL, right?
NBA,
Dylan Brooks.
NBA.
In the NBA, excuse me. No one likes Dylan Brooks, right? No one likes Dylan Brooks, but he's not over here yoking guys up, punching guys in the face, menacing, kicking guys in the nuts, stepping on guys in games, right? Menacing the referees. Adam Silver's at the game last year, Golden State Warriors. They're playing against the Sacramento Kings. He gets into a bit of a tussle with Sabonis. Dumas is probably there too, right? The guy steps on the guy, jumps up in the air with the commissioner, and then afterwards they kick him out the game, and he's yelling in the audience. He's arguing with the fans. Eric, the guy just yoked up Gobert, choking the guy like he's in the WWE. What the hell, Eric?
Choked up Gobert. Yeah, Draymond.
Eric, the guy's a menace. And now even how many times? Listen, the guys like Ron Artest. There was a point when Ron Artest was crazy. We love Ron Artest. Queensbridge, New York City, St. John's, New York all the way. Love Ron Artest. They had to rein him in. He was way out of control. And then you know what makes Draymond even worse? People thought Ron Artest was a little crazy, right? Like Draymond is smart and he's arrogant, dogs. Like he's so arrogant. And his mentality is like, I'm not changing. I'm going to do what I do. And listen, Steve Kerr's tired of him. Right? Even Steve Kerr came out and was like, the guy, you got to stop Draymond. You're hurting your team. But Eric, this is not the old NBA, Eric. This ain't the NBA when you had Maurice Lucas, those kind of guys. It's not the NBA when you had,
Frank,
John Sally, Dennis Rodman. Come on, bro.
The way Golden State.
The Davis brothers in Indiana.
Hold on. The way the Golden State.
Charles Oakley.
The way the Golden State roster is constructed, you need a guy like Draymond. As you know, the Splash Brothers, you got to protect them. And that's what he does. He's the enforcer. I'm with you, Draymond. Don't let nobody take that away from you. You the enforcer of that team.
But Eric, I'm okay with him being the enforcer.
What's that?
I'm okay with that, but he's crossing the line. If you look at the old enforcers, Oakley was an enforcer for years. Draymond does things that cross the line. You can be an enforcer. And listen, Oakley protected Jordan and Patrick Ewing. Right? Like you can be the enforcer, but he crosses the line all the time, Eric. You're absolutely correct. The Soft Splash Brothers need an enforcer. But Eric, he goes beyond that. He abuses the referees. He abuses the refs.
The Detroit Pistons with Mahone and those guys.
Rick Mahone, yeah.
Yeah, those guys, they straddled the fence. They crossed over here and every now and then they did stuff that we looked at and be like, yo, you can't do that. In today's NBA,
they didn't. They did nothing. Listen, Eric, let me say this. No, because you know what? They did. Right now, we're in the
Lambeer choking somebody, punching some. Come on, Frank.
So let me comment on that. Era, right? We're in a different NBA. What those guys did was per usual for that NBA. Okay? What Kurt Rambis was doing, what Lane Beard was doing, like you say, Rick Mahorn, right? Charles Oakley, with those guys, the Davis brothers a little later on for Indiana, protecting Reggie Miller. What those guys all did, Eric, was apropos and normal for those eras, right? They weren't out of line, okay? Now, we're in a different era, an era where...
They were out of line, Frank. They were out of
No,
line.
they weren't. No, they weren't.
Kevin McHale clotheslining Kirk Rambis, that's not out of line?
No, it's not, because that was going on. That's what happened during that era. We always talk about how...
That's still out of line, Frank. We just talked about, you just said that there's certain things, okay, that's the era, but there's certain things that you just don't do. Close on somebody in midair, that's out of line, Frank. That's out of line.
No, it wasn't. Not for that era. Not for that era, right? And listen, we can go on and on. There was clotheslining Michael Jordan in the sky, right? Your Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Thomas is one of the dirtiest players ever. Karl Malone gave Isaiah Thomas 50 stitches in his face. One of the dirtiest plays ever. Those were plays that were acceptable during that era. Larry Bird used to fight people. Listen, Moses Malone, Charles Dawkins, and Maurice Lucas squared up, right? In today's NBA, Eric, hold on. In today's NBA, where you're in the midst of trying to get a new TV deal, right, which would be unprecedented in the, maybe even over 10 billion plus, right? More than that, right? Tremendous TV rights deal in the NBA where you're trying to make it more family friendly, right? Disney owns ABC and ESPN, right? Family friendly NBA. This is not the Bad Boys. This is not Ron Artest. This is not that NBA, okay? In today's NBA, right, there's no one like Draymond Green. He's terrorizing the referees. He's terrorizing the players. He's terrorizing his teammates. He's beating his teammates up. He's beating up the other players He's beating his teammates up, the other players. Eric, he's a menace. And he's so out of place in this era. And you got to bring him in line. He cheap shot at Donovan Mitchell. He's a cheap shot artist. The guy needs to be reined in. I'm sorry. And then what makes it worse, Eric, this makes it worse. He's so arrogant, though. Like he's never contrite. He's a jerk about it, Eric. He's so out of line. I can't believe that you would condone Draymond Green in this era. He's a menace. So there's a fine line between protecting your stars, and not doing what he does.
I said he's an enforcer. And on that team, the way the team is constructed, you need a Draymond Green. That's all I said.
No, you don't need a Draymond Green. Dylan Brooks, there are guys that enforce, but not like he crosses the line. You can be an enforcer, but he's crazy. He's nuts. Eric. Draymond Green is the most hated player maybe ever. He's nuts. And he's so arrogant about it.
There you go with the extreme stuff again. The most hated NBA player ever. Come on, Frank. Damn.
He's Eric. Oh my goodness. So you thought, I remember you told me he should be suspended by one game the other day. You said 1 or 2 games.
I said 2 games. Two games.
Eric, come on, bro.
2 games.
They gave him 5. They should have gave him 50.
No, hey, then you sound like Jay Williams talking that nonsense. 50 games.
Let me say this.
Come on, Frank, man. What the hell? 50 games?
Let me say this.
The man lost about $700,000 so far in those 5 games.
He should have lost $7.5 million with his behavior.
No,
at some point, Eric, let me say this. At some point, though, Eric, at some point, it has to stop. It has to.
They gave him those 5 games because of his history.
You got to stop.
They gave him those 5 games because of his history. Because if you look at the history, he didn't throw a punch. He didn't do nothing. All he did was choke Rudy Gobert out. That's why I got.
He didn't throw a punch. All he did was almost choke somebody out.
Choke that nigga. Choke Rudy Gobert. Nobody likes Rudy Gobert anyway. Choke that nigga out.
That's right.
Nobody likes Rudy Gobert anyway. Choke him out. And let me tell you something. If Golden State meets up with Minnesota in the playoff, they done. Because Cat soft. Cat is soft.
He's Dominican. You shot him out of my show. You shot him out. That's your Dominican brother.
Soft. What? He's soft.
You showed your shoe. Randy, say it again, Randy. He showed his true colors. He loved Jerry Jones, and he said his Dominican brother that he shouted out on my show a couple episodes ago is soft.
He's soft.
Oh my goodness.
Soft. Cat is soft. Soft. You see Rudy Gobert getting choked out and you don't do nothing. Anthony Edwards, soft. They done.
That's right. That's right. I agree with you on that.
They done.
I agree with you on that.
Draymond took their heart and soul. We face them, we gonna sweep them. So let's hope we don't face Minnesota.
We? What do you mean we?
Oh, he jumped ship.
We. That's right, we.
You Golden State Warriors fan now?
We're not, Frank. Now you playing around. Now you playing around. Who?
That's your favorite team?
The Warriors. You know that.
The Warriors are your favorite team?
You didn't know that, Frank?
I didn't know that, no. I know you like the Warriors, but I had no idea it was we when you spoke about the Warriors like that.
Yeah, we.
Okay. So let me ask you this question, though. So you think we got a chance to win the championship this year? Since we talking about your we Warriors.
Or the Warriors got a chance to win? Of course we do.
Okay. With no big men?
We'll get somebody in the trade. We'll get somebody before the trading deadline. We'll pick somebody up.
Okay. Well, we'll see. But it ain't looking too good right now, just for the record.
Damn, Rudy Gobert. You should be wearing this neck brace. Rudy Gobert, you soft. Man, this neck brace.
Yeah, and Rudy Gobert, right. And before I ask this question, though, Ian, explain this to me about NBA. So first of all, I know with the Players Association, right, collectively bargained for a Players Association that you can't suspend the guy for a year for that action. I'm just saying he's a menace, and they need to be extreme. But I know it would never go through the Players Association, and they couldn't do it.
Right.
But let me say this, Ian. Let me say this, Ian. So you were right, number one, right? What a soft team, Eric. Can you imagine a guy getting choked out like that and nobody steps in to intervene to help your teammate? Eric, that's the craziest thing.
Kyle Anderson wasn't going to step in.
Yeah, I know him and Kyle Anderson had a little beef. But Eric, that was one of the craziest things that I've seen in basketball, OE, that I didn't see one guy come and try to come to the guys. Even like that was not, to me, that was as crazy as what Draymond did. But anyway, what were you going to say, E? Go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is Joe Dumars, who I think is the president of the
top cop in the NBA now, right? He's the guy that doles out the punishment.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me. He played on the Bad Boys when they was slapping niggas around and doing all types of stuff, and now come on, Joe Dumars, you should come on, Joe, come on.
But let me say this, but in all fairness to him, though, while they were doing all that dirty stuff and they were beating up Michael Jordan, Joe Dumars was always the classy guy, right? He wasn't never that guy. He was always a good guy.
He was a classy
guy. Out of everything, he was so. This is a good role for him because he was always right in the eye of that storm. He was the calm guy. Like he wasn't the guy. He was a calm guy. He was a calm guy. But that Draymond Green situation to me is nuts, right? And by the way, those guys not coming to his defense. Crazier, Rudy Gobert. But Rudy Gobert is a very hated player in the NBA just in general, right? No one likes Rudy Gobert, right? But you still can't choke him, Eric.
Listen. Everybody talks about Draymond Green being like they hate him and stuff like that, but his teammates love him. You got to have one of those guys on your team where
they don't love him. They're scared of him.
They're
scared of him. Do they love him? Because they know if they say something, he might smack the snot out of one of them. Nah. They're scared of him. Yo, So switching gears from Draymond, what you thinking about the Clippers? James Harden trade consummated now. He pushed his way out of Philadelphia, and now Westbrook has agreed to come off the bench, right? What you think about that trade? James Harden right now is the Los Angeles. Are the Clippers now a championship contending team?
No.
Why?
The pieces don't work together. I mean, now look, hold on, wait. Now that Westbrook,
even Westbrook off the bench.
Hold on. Let me take that back. Now that Westbrook coming off the bench, yes, they a contender. The West is so deep. I mean, playoff bound, yes, but are they a team that's going to make a deep run? Nah, I don't think so. But with Westbrook going to the bench, that helps them because I thought with Westbrook being in the starters, it wasn't going to work. Now that he's coming off the bench, it looks better. It looks better.
All right, E.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You said it, Eric. You said they're playoff bound. They've been in the playoffs every year for the most part, right? Like all these years, even they were in the playoffs last year. They were in the playoffs the year before that. So being playoff bound, they've been playoff bound every year, just for the record.
Yeah, they might win a series. Okay.
So So let me talk about. I want to talk about two teams. Okay, playoffs. I want to go back to your Golden State Warriors. Right. Let me go. Let me go there first before I talk about the Clippers. Right. I want to just get this point out.
Let me take my neck brace, but my neck is feeling a little better now. Now that we finished talking about Draymond.
And Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, Draymond.
Yo, E.
Draymond.
Now you finish talking about Rudy Gobert. You can take off your neck brace now. So E, let me tell you the problem with the Warriors. I picked the Warriors to go far, but this is the issue, and I always wondered about this. The Chris Paul acquisition is becoming problematic, and let me tell you why. If you look at any great championship team, they have a great number two, right? For years and years, Klay was a great number two scoring-wise, okay? He's no longer that, okay? The number two on this team needs to be Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins needs to be the number two. But the problem is they close our games now with Chris Paul. When they close our games with Chris Paul, even though he doesn't start, on the floor, Andrew Wiggins sits. It's at the expense of Wiggins. So you're jerking Wiggins in and out to put Chris Paul, Steph Curry, and Klay in together. And Wiggins is suffering. Wiggins has to emerge as your number two. Klay is not your number two. So this Chris Paul experiment is very detrimental thus far to Andrew Wiggins' development as the number two player on this team, scoring-wise. Andrew Wiggins is a guy that can get you 22 points a game, but you gotta put the ball in his hands more and let him become more confident. And that's not going to happen when you're sitting him for Chris Paul late in fourth quarters. It ain't going to happen. So until you find your number two, which Klay is not anymore. Klay is not the number two anymore. He can't be. If Klay is your number two, Eric, you can't get to the championship. You can't win with Klay as your number two. You look at number twos around the NBA. You look at Jaylen Brown with Tatum, right? You look at Jamal Murray with Jokic, right? When you look at really good elite number twos around the NBA, they are 22 point per game guys plus, and they're very good. Klay's no longer that. Wiggins has to be that for you.
Okay.
And he's not. So that's one.
Which he showed in the NBA Finals when they beat the Boston. So he's capable of that.
But you're hurting him now when you're sitting him, though, E.
We gotta figure out how we can utilize Chris Paul and still have Wiggins put up great numbers, be that number two guy that we need, and also be
that's the problem.
Also be that lockdown defender because we need that.
Yeah, but you're killing his confidence. That's one. And then two, E. Let me get into this James Harden thing quick. I didn't think that it would work with Westbrook. You know how I felt about that. Westbrook coming to the bench makes it better. I do think, if healthy, that they can make a run. But guess what? They ain't going to be healthy, right? Kawhi Leonard is never healthy. I hate to say it, right? I hope he is healthy. But it's impossible for me to ever think that Kawhi Leonard is going to be healthy when it matters. Kawhi Leonard is always hurt, right? And so I'm depending on Kawhi Leonard and Paul George has been a bit healthier, right? But when you got those two guys and James Harden, a guy who, as he's getting older, is going to be injury prone too because he doesn't take care of his body, right? The guy comes out every year, he's 20, 30 pounds overweight. He plays his way into shape. Now, he doesn't play a very athletic game, but the guy's always out of shape, okay? But he hasn't been hurt thus far, but at some point I feel like his body will start breaking down. But one thing we know, right, almost as we know that when you wake up in the morning, the sun is going to rise and it's going to be light outside, Kawhi Leonard is going to get hurt. I hate to say it. I hope not. I hope, please, Kawhi, because I'd love the Clippers to be competitive, right? But, man, you think Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are going to make it through a regular season and playoffs to get to a championship, Eric? Healthy?
No, I don't think
health-wise?
So. I don't think
Come
so.
on, bro.
That's like
to me, that extinguishes any hope of them being a championship. My mouth can't even talk about them being a championship caliber team, right? With those guys always being hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see that. That's like Chris Paul.
My mouth can't even.
When do the playoffs normally start? What month? April? Around April?
Yeah, around April.
Around April. So around April, Chris Paul will get hurt. You know how that goes. It's like clockwork.
Well, that's your guy now. Well, I like Chris Paul, so I hope not. But Chris Paul's another guy,
it's
right?
Like
but you hope. But maybe Eric, I agree with you. Another guy who I don't know if Chris Paul takes care of his body as much as he could, but Chris Paul's a great player. I think he's one of the best point guards ever to play. But as you say, come rain and shine, playoff time, at some point in the playoffs, Chris Paul's going to pull a hamstring or going, It's unfortunate, but that's another guy that's always hurt, right? Always hurt. Now, E, let's talk about the Lakers for a quick minute.
Yes.
Explain this to me. I got to sit up when I talk about this. E, explain this to me, Eric. Okay?
Listen.
The Lakers say they want Anthony Davis to lead. They say it's Anthony Davis' team now, okay? When you watch them play, okay, they still run everything through LeBron. They run Anthony Davis in screen and roll all game long, and he's screening 35 feet from the basket, and by the time he rolls, Eric, if he gets the ball, he's at the three-point line, right? He's not rolling all the way to the basket from 35 feet out, okay? So then if you give it to him at the three-point line, he's not best served shooting threes or trying to get all the way to the basket from the three-point line. Darvin Ham right now is coaching as bad as I've ever seen. If you want AD had 8 shots 2 games ago. If you want AD to be your guy, okay, then make him your primary offensive guy, like they do with Joel Embiid, like they do with so many of these other elite bigs. You got to throw the ball to him in scoring position, not 30 feet from the basket, okay? Run cross screens up from block to block, run them to the mid-range area, etc. Tell me, I'm listening.
Sorry to cut you off.
I'm listening.
You said cross screens, running from block to block. He don't want to be on the block. He don't want to be on the block. He don't want to do that. He want to be on the block.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
Listen, he'll be most dominant on the block. I would say that, but he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to bang. He want to be in the perimeter.
Woo!
He want to.
I don't agree with that. I think he wants to be a guy that plays inside and out. I think he doesn't mind playing in. Right now, I do agree with you that he's not a traditional post-up guy. But my point is, Eric, you got to get him shots in different positions, even in the mid-range. Why not? Yes. Why not run something, Eric? When you down screen, he comes up, catches it at the free throw line, squares up, left, right, free throw line, jump shot. Eric, he can't dribble get to the basket from the three-point line consistently. Yeah. Right? Okay. But listen, but if you're going to talk about making him your primary guy, Eric, you got to give him the ball. You still running offense through LeBron. LeBron has been great, but LeBron has lost a step or two. Okay? And then the second issue is Darvin Ham. The last time the Lakers were great, they had your boy Dwight Howard. Okay? He did a good job.
Boy Dwight Howard, baby.
he did a good job on Jokic, right? AD's better off as a 4-man, okay? Some 5, but and look, as a really good weak side defender, Jokic is being guarded by, you brought in Christian Woods and you brought in Jackson Hayes. Christian Woods is guarding him, right? First, you got Anthony Davis weak side, able to come, double, block shots, etc. The guy's a great defensive player. Block shots. The Lakers want him to block all the shots, get all the rebounds, because by the way, perimeter defense is horrible right now. Okay? They want him to block all the shots, cover up everybody's mistakes on the perimeter, get all the rebounds. You don't want to pass him the ball. You want to run him in these bad pick and rolls. You understand what I'm saying? And you want him to play center, which he doesn't want to play center. You saw it happen last year when he played center. Okay? Jokic destroyed him. He's not big enough.
Yeah, but I mean, listen.
I'm listening.
Lakers, Darvin Ham doesn't have the will to be like, you know what, let's run everything through. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have those cojones to be like LeBron. We gotta run through everything through.
So stop saying that, then, E. You right. E, you right. You right, E. You right. You right. E. So then say we listen. We ride LeBron James because what's happening is it's doing a disservice to this guy, Eric, because now everybody's dissing AD. Okay, like he's not taking that step forward. But you can't take that step forward unless the team invests in you from that perspective, right? On the court. Throw the man, your AD should get 25 shots a game.
I believe, he should.
That's what the best players on teams get. Okay? 25 shots a game. And then, by the way, Eric, look how small you are across your front. Look how small you are across your front line. They start Taurean Prince, 6'7"ish, LeBron James, and AD. That's too small, Eric. How you gonna who's gonna guard Jokic? And you get to the championship and you run into a team like Milwaukee, you got Antetokounmpo and the Lopez brother. Yeah. E. Yeah. You're too small, and you got the personnel. Come on, Darvin Ham.
But Frank,
come on, Darvin Ham.
Let me say this, Frank. Let me say this. The reason why I believe that everything is running through LeBron in his 21st season is because AD is not reliable, Frank. You know, we don't know. He might be there
He
today.
is reliable.
No, he might be there today, gone tomorrow. His neck might start hurting again. Let me put neck brace back on. His neck might start hurting. He might be out for 10 games. We don't know that, Frank. He's not a guy that you can trust. He's not a guy that
Eric,
for
Eric,
82 games,
AD,
for 82 games,
he play, Eric,
which he said he wanted
what
to
about last year? He played all through the playoffs last year. Eric. AD was 27, 26, 27, and 12 and a half. Top 5 guy rebounding in the NBA. What you mean he don't want to play tough? 12 and a half rebounds last year and 26 points. What do you mean?
Frank, wasn't he just hurt?
That's phenomenal.
Wasn't he just hurt?
Huh?
Wasn't he just hurt recently?
No, he playing through the hip contusion. He's playing through it. He's playing.
Okay.
Eric, he played last year. Let's start running that narrative. He had a stretch. We had 2 years we got injured, right? But last year he played through the playoffs.
Okay.
Come on, E.
Listen.
Come on, E.
Listen.
All right, E. Well, listen, man. Your man Draymond is nuts. All right, pause. You know, E, it's always good to have you on the show.
Always.
My brother, Dominican E. Even though you said some disturbing things today about Jimmy Jones.
Jerry Jones, baby.
The Jerry Jones, excuse me. You got me saying the man's name wrong. I'm like you now. You rubbing off on me. Jerry Jones. Disturbing.
Yeah.
But anyway, E, E, good to have you on the show as usual, E. You know, take care. We'll have you back on the show again, E. It's always a pleasure having you on the show, talking about these compelling and controversial topics, E. I know you love to give your shout out to your Dominican brothers. You know, I'm not sure if I'm one of your Dominican brothers. I want your shout out. You got one guy you shouted out. You got his name wrong in the pronunciation today. You shouted him out a few episodes ago. You got the other one you shouted out. You called him soft today. So whoever you shout out next, you understand what I'm saying? Duck, because you never know when the shoe is coming from Eric after he shouts you out. But go ahead, E. Give your Dominican shout out, E.
Shout out, since we talked about basketball, we talked about Draymond, and we talked about the Golden State Warriors and all these, you know, NBA stuff. Let me give a shout out to old man Al Horford. Let me give a shout out to my old man Al de lo mío. He's one of mine. Gotta love Al. You know, been steady, been like a consummate pro in the NBA, a professional guy. Just comes to work every day, brings his lunch pail every day, comes to work every day, puts his hard hat on, pause, and comes to work every day and does his job. Shout out to my man, old man Al Horford, baby.
A pro's pro. But Al, when you start playing bad this year, right, 3 episodes from now, Eric's going to throw you under the bus. But Al Horford, a pro's pro. Absolutely. Great player, right? University of Florida, won national championships, came to the NBA, has exceeded all expectations. Great player, great guy in the locker room. Jason Tatum said it's his favorite teammate ever. Shout out Al Horford. Al, I would never throw you under the bus like your Dominican brother E is going to do in a few episodes. All right, E. E, my brother. One love, man. All right.
All right.
Good.